Okay, we are moving on today to our lesson 3.4 with inequalities. We're still solving. Our learning target today, you can solve multi-step. That means you have to do more than two things to get the variable all by itself, okay? Steps for solving multi-step inequalities. The first thing you always do is distribute. That is always your first step. Always, always, always. First step is to distribute. Secondly, you would combine like terms if you need to. I'm going to tell you, don't do opposites. So many kids do the opposite at this step. You only do the opposite if you're moving to the opposite side. You do not do the opposite if you're combining on the same side of the inequality symbol or the equal sign. Third, move the variable to one side. And lastly, you will solve. So we distribute, combine like terms, move variable to one side, solve. All right. Oh, look at this last thing. Be careful to see if you have to MD and F. Remember that last step, if you have to multiply or divide by a negative, you flip inequality. MD and F, it means you're flipping the inequality. And I'm just going to stop there because I have no more room. So write that. Write by MD and F. Right on top of it, flip inequality. That's what that means. All right, looks like my first four examples are a nice, easy way to get into it. The only thing extra I really have to do here, it looks like, is distribute. So, I'm going to distribute. 3x plus 12 is bigger than or equal to 36. And I'm hoping by now you know solving, you move what's not connected first. So I'm going to move my 12, move my 12. 3x is bigger than 24. Do I have to MD and F this one?
No, it'll be greater equal.
Oh, thank you. I do not have to MD and F it because I don't have a negative connected. So, x is greater than or equal to 8. It's just like with an equal sign. The only thing different is instead of the equal sign, it's an inequality sign. No biggie. The only difference. Don't turn this into an equal sign. It's another thing kids like to do. They like to all of a sudden turn this into an equal sign. Don't do it. Okay. Next one, distribute. 4 times 3 is 12x, minus 4 times 2 is 8, is less than 5. Add 8, 12x is less than what? 13. Divide by 12, x is less than 13 over 12. It's a fraction, no biggie. Don't write no solution on there. You leave that as a fraction. It's okay. No solution only happens when a variable is all gone. It just totally disappears. That's the only time a no solution happens. And I'm going to leave it improper because we are smart 8th graders. Whoops. All right, I see a negative right now. In my mind, I already have a red flag up saying, oh, I know I'm going to MD and F this at the end because I see that it's going to be like a negative x of some sort. So try to have eyes like that, eyes of a tiger, a math tiger, knowing when you are going to MD and F or not. So this turns into negative 8x minus a negative 20 is less than 28. Negative 4 times 2 is that negative 8. The minus came down. Negative 4 times 5 is at negative 20. I'm just rewriting negative 8x plus 20 is less than 28. Now I can subtract. Okay, we should all be trying to keep up here. You should be fluently getting through this on your own. Sitting up so your oxygen is in your brain. You're flowing well. Subtracting 20, I get negative 8x is less than 8. Uh-oh, I'm going to have to divide by a negative. That means I'm going to MDNF it. X is bigger than negative 1. Notice I MDNF'd it right there. MDNF. Dramatically placed. Alrighty, distributing through this negative, I'm going to get negative 10x plus a negative 10 is bigger than or equal to 12. Okay, now the inverse of plus is minus, so I'm going to minus a negative 10. When I minus a negative, what am I really doing? I'm adding 10. And I get negative 10x left over there is bigger than or equal to 22. I'm going to have to divide through by a negative, which tells me I need to MDNF it. So I'm going to get x is less than or equal to a negative 22 tenths. You do need to simplify that. X is less than or equal to negative 11 fifths. Done. Okay, so I distributed through the negative. What I was most careful about is this step, knowing that that turns to plus, and this step, MDNFing it. That's the biggest thing you need to be careful about. If you multiply or divide a negative number, flip that inequality at the end.
2 and 1.
But we don't do that as 8th graders. We leave it as negative 11 fifths. It just looks a little more proper, and I don't know. Sometimes they like to throw it, so they do expect that you know how to translate that. But most of the time in high school and college, they leave it improper. Okay. All right. Here we go. We have another page. We are rocking through this. I want you independently to try to go through this page. Okay? I will guide us in about 5 minutes time, so you got plenty of time to work through this. So the first one I can see I just need to solve as normal. I would add 5, add 5. Negative 3x is less than 9. Now I have to divide by a negative. When I divide by a negative, I MDNF it. X is greater than what? Negative 3. And that's me dividing through by a negative 3. Next one, distribute your negative. So negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. The plus comes down. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. When I plus a negative, the inverse would be to subtract a negative. When I subtract a negative, I'm really adding. Negative 6x is bigger than negative 12. Divide through by a negative. That means I got to MDNF it. So I flip that inequality, and it's a positive 2. Negative 12 divided by a negative 6 is a positive 2. All right. Now we're getting all crazy advanced, these bottom ones. Step 1 said to distribute, I don't need to. Step 2 said combine like terms, and then we also wrote on combine like terms, don't do the opposite. So that's what I'm talking about right here. 4x minus 9x is a minus 5x. Minus 5 is bigger than 2x plus 1. Everyone should have that first step down. You should have that first step down so you know what we did. You reference this on an exam. Add 5. Add 5. I guess, wait, what was step 3? It was to move the variable to one side. It really doesn't matter if I added 5. I'm going to erase it, though. I'm going to follow the steps. Take 2x away. Take 2x away. That's plus a negative 2. Negative 5 plus a negative 2 is a negative 7x. Add 5. Divide by a negative. Flip the inequality. X is less than a negative 6/7. That's hard. My goal is that you don't look here and just copy this like you're copying me writing a paragraph. My goal is that I get you going and you fluently go through the rest. Don't copy me line by line. Your brain should be saying, okay, the next line I'm going to combine my x's. I'm going to move that 5. I'm going to, you should be flowing through this. I shouldn't be seeing eyes just staring at the board. Okay? All right, wow, look at this one. I got to do all the steps here. First, distribute. Negative 8k minus a negative 12 plus 3k is less than 5 minus 3k. Wow. Okay. Zach, you should be ready. When you're done. Negative 8k plus 12 plus 3k is less than 5 minus 3k. That was just me rewriting this step here, right here. That's what I did in this line. Okay? All right, now I'm on that step 2, combine like terms. Don't do the opposite, so that's going to be negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5. Negative 5k plus 12 is less than 5 minus 3k. That was step 2. Don't do the opposite. Step 3, move my k to one side. Plus 3k, plus 3k, negative 5, plus 3, negative 2. K plus 12 is less than 5. Subtract 12. Divide by a negative. I'm going to NDNF it. And it's going to end up being a positive 7/2 because negative 7 over a negative 2 turns to positive. X is bigger than a positive 7/2.